and I love to get stoned. Okay, stop.
It's time again for the Craig Reed Show, the Stone Roadie, in my opinion. Craig Reed, of course, is the most famous Stone Roadie in rock and roll, probably because of the Lynyrd Skynyrd band. And as you can see, Craig, who's not really paying attention to what I'm saying, has got his Gary Rossington hat on, and his shirt kind of looks like Gary, and he's trying to emulate Gary some because emulation is the best form of flattery, is what Craig says. So if you try to be like somebody, then it's flattering. So Craig, what do you want to talk about this evening? You said you had a question from a guy named Steve Jones who had some question about fishing. Oh, Craig.
I'm showing some things some people somebody sent me. That is pretty
Craig
cool.
has all of his props, and he
Yeah,
said,
I got my.
"Yeah,
Oh
this
yeah,
is."
yeah. I
He's
got this.
got his Doug Gray
This is my
tambourine.
Doug Gray official Doug Gray tambourine for Marshall Tucker. He signed it for me, and I'd like to be like some of my friends, like Paul Abraham and stuff, who get on and oh, let me move this back. Oh yeah, because I didn't move it back. But I'd love to get on here and play guitar and sing, but I can't play guitar or sing. But I'm going to attempt it, and not to play guitar, but to sing. Because you can ask Paul, I quite did that quite a lot. We talked about that. But I don't know how to play this, but I'm going to try to do it, and I'm going to sing a song that. This is kind of weird because old friend of mine from a long time ago sent me a song. And just today out of clear blue, and I keep telling people things just keep happening that kind of just are wrote in the cards, for me to do, and it's like I don't really need to think about my life. It's because it's just already played out. And I'm just kind of wake up in the morning and just kind of just like follow what God or whoever tells me to do. But here's this song that kind of fits my thing. I'd like to use it for an opening thing if we could clear getting it done, but it goes like this. It goes, "'Cause I love to get high, and that 'cause I talk when I'm stoned, just like right now, like when I'm talking to you." Yeah, well, I guess you have to hear it off the record. It sounds better when people can actually do it, but that's what. This thing's about me because I do stupid shit like that when people come and see me when I'm sitting there at home. I don't have a script or nothing. I'm sure you don't either. So you sitting there and say, hey, somebody's gonna come over and visit. Let me write a script and see what we're gonna talk about. So I just Griff says turn it. I just say Griff says I'm gonna turn it on, and yeah, okay, right. So I just kind of let him do his thing until he says I see him say, "Hey, Craig." So, oh yeah, let me introduce myself. I didn't listen. Yeah, my name's Craig Reed, the Stoned Roadie, and this is my co-star here, Griff Martin, the no Griff Martin, the rocket scientist. Because he's kind of famous too. He's been on TV and stuff. We're both kind of famous. It's kind of, he's the I'm the Stone Roadie, and the rocket scientist. Doing a podcast.
It takes a rocket scientist to extract everything out of Craig's head.
But
It's
I go into the fourth dimension, and he don't even believe it aliens.
just
But
because
yeah,
I
I
haven't
think you
seen
heard.
one.
Okay, back to because I get off. Griff says something, and I act like I'm
Yeah,
paying
the
attention.
Steve
Okay,
Jones question.
Steve Jones. Is that my buddy, the Steve Jones, the radio guy?
The guy that
Oh no! I know you. Oh hey Steve Jones. Yeah, he messages me all the time. It's like he asked a question about something about fish, and I think I answered him back that I would try to. Yeah, I did. I answered him back, and I said I'll try to get to that on the first pod. But see, I didn't remember, but Griff did. But we got to get back to that. I got to talk about my outfit here first. People said, "Oh, okay. Let me do this. Let me zoom. Here's my dogs, Wicker and Leon. I'm trying to make them famous.
yeah, that's Liquor and Leon. I mean Wicker and
These
Leon.
are my babies here. These are my babies. Yeah, you are. You're good boys. All right, let me get technical here and try to zoom in. Oh, look at that. Hey, 'cause I love to get high. 'Cause I talk when I'm stoned, just like right now, like when I'm talking to you.
Gary Rossington doesn't wear Elvis glasses though, does he?
Gary Rossington loved Elvis. I don't know if he wants to make that known. I'm sorry if you don't want to make that known. But this is cool. When I used to escort Gary down to the venue, if we would play like in a casino or something, I'd try to take Gary through the kitchen and stuff instead of taking him through the crowd, And I'd say, "Come on, Gary, I'm gonna treat you like Elvis, and we'll take you through the kitchen." And all the kitchen people look at me, but I had to have have security show me the way. We'd go in the back way all the time to avoid the crowd. Because that's what.
Did he say, Craig, where the hell are you taking me, man?
No, I'd tell him we're gonna take the Elvis route. We'd take the service elevators and stuff. It was funny, but he kind of got a kick out of it. Man, Gary Rossington's just the coolest guy I ever knew. I swear to God, man. I mean, he the way he portrayed his thing. Ronnie was up there and he never danced around or nothing. Like Artemis said in one of his things. Ronnie, went barefooted, and he wasn't very tall, so most people, that aren't very tall kind of wear high boots and high heels or whatever, to make them tall, but he went barefoot, so it kind of, it showed his, how his confidence, about who he was, but, Gary up on stage, he was just always real smooth, and even the way he plays the guitar is just so melodic and just kind of it's different than the other guys, but Gary's really cool, man, the way he
like that one video that he goes over to. I guess maybe you handed him a drink and he's got one hand on the bridge, and he's playing, he's not even picking with his other hand, and he's drinking a drink and taking a cigarette break, and that's cool right there.
Oh yeah, and he always had a signature way to hold his cigarette. He held it between these fingers instead of holding it with between these. He'd hold it between these fingers, and then he like. I mean, I never see anybody hold their cigarette between these fingers, like that. But he'd do that and play. It was kind of his little style. I don't know if anybody ever noticed that or not, but sitting around, he did it all the time. He just didn't do it for show. He did that in his hotel room. We'd be sitting around. He always held his cigarette in that hand. But whatever, what the hell that means or not. But what was the story? Oh yeah, about fishing. God Almighty knows. Do I go fishing? I fished when I was a kid. I got a pond in my front yard. Well, I used to until they built a bunch of houses back there, and there's a creek back there, and townships, they put as many people in there so they can suck all the taxes they can, and then they build those houses back there, and they divert all the water gets diverted into a creek that goes around your house, and pretty soon the pond gets full of silt and kills all the fish and uh, and uh, and then the land that used to sop up the water when the rain is now parking lot, so all the water goes into the creek, and then it floods out your bridge and causes $40,000 of damage. And the guy that builds the project and the township refused any responsibility because it's an older bridge and it's been there. You just can't fight City Hall, but what you gonna do? At least they reduced my taxes, because I said my house is worth $50,000 less, because if I go to sell it, my bridge is washed out. So at least they fixed that. Yeah. But that's damn. Here I go again, getting away from the story. But what was the? Oh, did I go fishing? Yeah. Okay, that's the same story. It just took a little U-turn. But yeah, I used to fish down there. But where I live, there's I got almighty, within 20 minutes, there's a reservoir over here, and there's Portage Lakes over there, and then there's God, within 20 minutes, there's fishing all over the place around here. It's crazy. But when I went down to Florida, Ronnie and Gary, they had Bad Company, and the boat they called Bad Company, and then they had the Jeep that I got that now Johnny has. But yeah, me and Ronnie used to go fishing, but I only fished for largemouth bass. We were only looking for the 23-pound monster, but yeah, Ronnie taught me how to jigger fish, and you just take a big old cane pole and stick a piece of foot long of string on a big heavy long string, and put a little wobby tail or wobby frog or something dangling like a big bug or something, and set it out on a lily pad, and then kind of flop it off and see if a big fish will catch it. And then, man, you get a brass on a damn end of a cane pole and try to pull it in. Them things will fight, man, but yeah, that's about, my buddy Sammy Catalona, he goes fishing, God almighty, all the time. He comes over to my house, and he says, "Where you mean that fish?" Are you crazy? It's like it's snowing outside. He's fishing, and but every year he has a fish fry, and he likes crappie, and every year we have a fish fry, and he's the one that, if you see stuff I post on Facebook, he's the one that has the party for me. Over my buddy Kevin Ake, who's got Ake Racing over there. He's gonna build the car. I can't wait to go. I think the race is tomorrow. I think the first race, and he's got a brand new car, and he's the one who put my my Yamaha Banshee together for me, And yeah, he's a real slick mechanic, but he's a real cool guy. And we go over there, and he just had a couple of little boys. And God, he's got his little boy, the 3 years old little Ben, is already welding with a TIG welder. It's crazy, man. It's like
does he use a shield, or just staring at it with his bare eye?
Yeah, some kids, are actually growing up with a childhood besides learning how to
be a stoned roadie.
Yeah. You ought to have your children watch this show. See there, if you do that stuff, you'll end up like that guy there.
That's what Gene Odom always
said.
And
they'll go, "Oh no!" You'll end up like that character, some kind of nut, but it's funny, somebody asked me yesterday what my favorite movie. I said One Flew Over the New Cuckoo's Nest, was the first thing I could think of, kind of a 70-year-old guy would say that, it's.
Hey, Craig, you talking about that boat, Bad Company? Where did, there's a picture of you and Chad in that boat.
Oh yeah. Me and
Out there
Chad are sitting in bad
with the
company
Hell
back
House dock.
at the dollhouse dock. Yeah.
Yeah. So did you guys all go out in that boat a lot? How often did you go in the boat?
Oh yeah. We would go. We'd take it down to Lake Delancey. You know, Ronnie had that red Jeep, and you know that was the Red Rooster. They called that. You know, the Red Rooster. And actually, Ronnie's wife come over and asked me if I would go look at it. You know, and before she bought it. You know, it was a 72 CJ6. That's the long version, you know, and then Gary got it off of Ronnie. Maybe Ronnie didn't have a license. I don't know. I never saw him drive it,
Maybe
but
he lost
Gary had it. And then after the crash, when I got back with Rossington Collins, Gary gave me that Jeep. And yeah, that was a lot of fun down there.
And how did Johnny end up with the Jeep? You sell it to him?
Well, I had it. I had it down there when I moved. When I brought Alan Collins gave me that '81 Oldsmobile Tornado, and I put the Jeep on a trailer behind the Tornado and towed it up here, and. I think that's how I did it. Steve Reynolds helped me one time get up here in a truck. God, I can't remember.
So you had the Jeep up here?
I had the Jeep. The Jeep was up here, and Melody wanted it. Ronnie's daughter Melody wanted it, so we arranged to deal with that, and she took it.
Well, it stayed in the family.
And Johnny got it. I don't know how Johnny got it, but I guess he fixed it up.
Whatever happened to the boat, the Bad Company boat? You know what happened to that?
I have not a clue.
That'd be a cool thing to have right there.
Yeah, I doubt the people that know it. They gotta have it actually know the history. You know,
probably in somebody's backyard right now, sitting on an old rusty trailer, and they don't even know what they have.
Yeah, that happens a lot. I bet.
Yeah. Did you want to tell that story about Gary and the lion and the castle and the?
Oh God, where'd that one come from?
Yeah, this is Gary Rossington.
God, yeah, we went to London, and God, we went to all them castles from the Lambtons, Lord Lambton and Dean met Lady Lambton somewhere. I don't know.
With the Blue Boy painting.
The Blue Boy painting, yeah, but
famous.
But we, yeah, but I don't remember who met. I think Dean ran into Lady Lambton somehow. She was a real cool chick, and daughter of Lord Lambton, and they had 3 big castles over there. And Dean and I actually went to the one with Lady Lambton and spent the night. And I was going, "Is there a haunted room?" And she going, "Yeah, you know." We went up there. That was a freaky place, man. I mean, they had a death room with this. It was ridiculous. Oh my God, there was paintings like everywhere, just really. I mean, they had real suits of armor, you know, and gold. Everything's huge, man. It's like giants lived in there, so they, you know. But yeah, they had 3 different castles, and you can actually do a Google search for the Lambtons and Lord Lambton and the Lion Reserve we went to, and all these places they had wine cellars, you know. So I thought if I'd have known that you were going to ask me that, I had a pick. Matter of fact, you said we need to do a show. I could have got the picture of all of us down in the wine cellar. Alan and me and Alan, Steve and Artimus and the butler were down there in the wine cellar, and we were getting the butler gave us a bottle of 1957 or something like that, and we drank it, and somehow a bottle of 1938 showed up. I think somebody found their way back down there.
Was there a different taste to that you could remember?
Oh, man, that stuff's lethal, man. I'll tell you what, you know, and and Leon, he was pretty fond of it. And Artemis, he doesn't drink very much, and I have why is it I have a picture of Artemis sitting in the chair holding one eye with a bottle by his feet, I think, if I remember right. But I don't know who all was. We were in this castle, and there was a stairway that went up, and all I remember was those guys were up in this the stairway went up, and then there was a wall there, and this picture of Blue Boy. I guess it's worth a couple $1 million
it's the
or
famous
whatever.
painting, Blue
It's
Boy.
the real Blue Boy. That was
Yeah.
Lord Lambton's dad, grandfather, I guess it would be. That was Blue Boy. But yeah, so I don't know. All of a sudden, I looked up and there's red wine coming down the wall by where Blue Boy is. And Lady Lambton was not amused by the least. And I think she kindly asked us if we'd get the hell out of there. Dean's pretty sophisticated. You guys are a bunch of damn animals. You don't gulp wine 57 feet, you drink, sip it, or whatever. But yeah, she wasn't very amused. But so yeah, as we were leaving Artemis, a big castle, he went out the wrong door, and we didn't know where he went. I think he got lost, and so we were counting up heads. Where's Artemis? And he wasn't anywhere we could find him, and I think he got lost, and it's dark, we got up and we're in our lion reserve. There's lions there. And me and Gary team up, and I'm drunk, your Gary's drunk, and I'm going, Gary, I'm not real amused. This is kind of out of my job over my pay rate, I think. And I said, but I'm not really worried because I think I can outrun you.
So you were outside in the lion preserve looking.
Oh yeah, we're in team. It's so dark, and we're in this castle. So, and we, me and Gary were looking for him. I said, "Yeah, I'm not really amused, but I think I'm okay as long as there's only one. I know I can outrun you."
So you're gonna leave Gary behind and
Yeah.
wait for the lion.
Sorry, Gary, but
Well, we know Artemis didn't get eaten by
I
the.
might have went to the bar with Ronnie to fight, but I ain't messing with no lion. You're on your own.
So did you find Artemis?
Yeah, he showed up, and we all it was funny. We all laughed about it. It's fun. It's hilarious now, but Lady Lambton didn't think it was very funny. And yeah, it's all funny now, but I wasn't very amused at the time.
You can laugh about it later.
Not the kind of buzz you want to have. Knowing there's lions out there, lions and tigers and bears. um,
So what did you want to talk about next?
yeah, I think we covered my fishing thing. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't fish. I go to the store, or Sammy brings it to me, or whatever. Yeah, I think we discussed that. Yeah, you got a question, Annie? I saw you had a bunch of stuff, and I thought they were mail, but you said you send out stickers to people.
I did send out some Hell House stickers to some people that asked some questions.
Yeah.
This time, I just figured we'd talk about some interesting stuff and here's one of them that I thought was pretty funny. You got to tell the story about Alan with the BB gun, because to me, that's hilarious.
Well, that was after Skynyrd, the original Skynyrd. That was during Alan Collins. That was after Rossington Collins and everything. Yeah. Rossington Collins, we had the studio down at Riverside where Alan's dad, Larkin, had his office down there, and I had an office down there and everything. But after Gary left, then we moved it out to because by then I think Larkin was the manager, and he didn't do what he was doing before, and I think he retired. I can't remember back that far, but no, he was still working when I left Jacksonville in '92. He was still there. He must have been still doing. He was a food distributor down there before Alan did that, and so did some kind of thing like that. But what was the question? Oh yeah, the BB gun, Okay, I'm sorry, man. I do the best I can with what I got to work with, my limited.
Yeah, that's why you have me.
Brain capacity, I mean, that's all I can do. Best I can do with what I got to work with, and I'm the only one that knows what I know. So if you want to hear anything that, I'm sorry if I bore you, but I'll come up with a little bit of information, a little bit at a time when I can, when my capacity will deal with it. I'm dealing with I had a serious brain damage, and I had concussion, and I got a bad thyroid. So I have to watch what I eat so I don't get fat, but nowadays you can look on the internet. That's no excuse anymore. You can look on there and they'll tell you the stuff you can eat that won't make you fat. So, don't use that excuse anymore.
Yeah, Craig's on a single mission from God to rid the world of fat people.
Yeah, and cigarette suckers, the ones.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Scott Campbell. Dang it. Scott Campbell. Alan, thank you. Scott Campbell, Alan's best friend, man. I mean, really. And mine too. I mean,
we'll talk about the BB gun after this.
Yeah, we're going to talk about this. Because that was supposed to be the first thing I wanted to talk about, and I forgot again, but Scott, was Alan's best friend. But anyways, here a little bit ago, he was trying to set some kind of a world speed record on a speedboat, and he crashed it at about 150, and I know how fast 150 is because I went into that Wallace driving school and did 155 in Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s number 8 car down at Kentucky, and that's pretty fast, on land and on a boat. I went 110 down at Ricky Medlock's one time I was down there, and one of his friends had a boat that would do 110. That was pretty cool. But God, where am I going again, man? I start off on stories.
He wrecked the boat. He was doing 150 in the boat and wrecked.
Well, I know that part. Well, where was I going with that one?
You were going to talk about how you saved him from something.
Oh God. Oh, let me see here.
Because he was acting like Alan and all the other guys, being so crazy and.
Oh God, yeah, Scott Campbell, man, oh man.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. I do that, It's all in there, but my delivery is not going to be good, but you'll get it eventually. It won't be on a silver platter. It'll be like dinner at home, without the candles. But I'll get it out there. Scott Campbell. All right. After this is kind of weird, man. I mean, because I was going down to see my grandson, and for some reason I had talked to Scott I talked to him on the phone a couple of times, but he didn't sound good. He said he'd gotten that wreck, and he was obviously doing some painkillers, but something told me, I think I'll say Alan Collins' spirit said, man, our buddy needs to get his life straightened around. He's kind of like on the same path I was, or something. I don't know. It's kind of my opinion of what's going on. So I called Scott and I said, Scott, I'm going to stop by. So I went to Jacksonville. Before I went to my son's house, I went to Scott's house. and he was doing more than he should, and I kind of just got on him really bad, and he's kind of like defending what he's doing, like all addicts do, man, I need this stuff. All addicts are like that. They always defend, how can cigarette smokers defend smoking cigarettes? They do it, I mean, but yeah, he's defending it. And I said, man, it killed Alan, it killed Billy, it killed Leon, all this stuff, man. I said, I stopped. You, if I can do it, you can do it. Because that's after I cleaned up. So, he didn't, I guess, and I kept calling, I don't know what happened, but he finally called me yesterday and said, Craig, you helped me get over that, man. Thank you. That's, man, something that, I needed to do. And if you wouldn't have helped me, I probably never done it, and then my buddy down there in Hawaii, William, what's his last name? Williams. Wellinger. He called me the day before and said, you got on me about smoking those cigarettes, and and blah, blah, blah. And he goes, you finally got through to me, and I quit. He's been off of him for 15 days, and he said, man, I'm over the hump now, I think, and thank you, so good for you, William, man. Yeah, he's a roadie down there in Hawaii, and he that's a place I always said, man, if I had to, when I retire, I want to go to Hawaii, man. I mean, he wants to get out of there. He said, and I don't want to go back. I always wanted to, but he said it's nothing like it used to be, So yeah, and then the BB gun. See, I remember that. I'm not all gone,
Yeah, you're doing.
Yeah, how about that? So yeah, Alan with a BB gun. Man, I think when I was talking about Mike Estes, I was talking about the boxing gloves. Alan, he's like always into something else too. I mean, goes from one thing to the next. Just like So I do the same thing, but he goes into boxing gloves and then he got the BB gun, and he was, we'd have rehearsal, and he would go over and he'd have the BB gun hidden in the rehearsal room, and then he'd put his guitar away and grab that BB gun and get it. And everybody's running for the door about. Got 10 people trying to get out the door at the same time, and he's shooting people. And he said, what are you afraid of? This don't hurt. And he's barefooted, shooting himself in the foot with a BB gun. This don't hurt. He got blood poisoning in his damn foot from shooting himself with that copper. That guy's, he's crazy. I mean, yeah, oh my God, yeah. And he would call my son Chad over, and as soon as Chad would come in the door, he'd shoot him with a BB gun. And Chad got his license at 16, and
it was like an hour away. And he drove all the way over.
Yeah, I was gone, and I guess Alan missed me or whatever. That's what I like to think, and would call my son, come over here. And God, Chad lived at the beach, 30, 40 miles away, and he would go see Alan and shoot Chad with the BB gun.
When he gets
They were real close, man. Chad and Alan were really close, and Amy and Allison, all of them really were.
Yeah, we got to get Chad on here because he tells a story about when he came over to Alan's house and he heard guitar coming out of the house, and he went in there, and Alan was in a wheelchair. A lot of people didn't think he could still play his guitar, but he was in there playing it. And we'll get Chad to tell that story. I might.
Yeah, Alan gave Chad one of his guitars, and Alan was always trying to give Chad something, And Chad would never take it. Alan insisted that he take it, and he was walking out to his car to put in his car, and some guy that was watching Alan said, "What are you doing?" Chad said, Alan just gave it. No, you can't have it. Alan told me to make sure nothing left here because, you know, I give stuff away and when I shouldn't be, and I gave a guitar away, that black Strat, so don't let me give anything away. So Chad said, okay, cool, no problem. So then somebody calls Alan and says, man, that Les Paul you had's for sale down in some music store. The guy that took it from Chad went and sold it. And then Alan got mad at Chad for selling the guitar. And Chad said, I didn't sell it. That guy you had staying here with you took it from me. Yeah, there was people staying there with Alan that stole all kind of stuff from me. It was sickening, man. Stealing guy from a dang that trusts you in a wheelchair, and he's got drug play. And he was always drunk. He didn't know. I left, and after I left, scavengers just took over. I used to stay there with him, and after I left, but I couldn't stay there with him, man. And you know, I mean, you know, I have a life. I want to come up to Ohio and start being a salesman again. Well, no, I came back up here and went back right to work with Marshall Tucker. You know, that's when
and well, we just one of these days we'll have to figure out what happened to Alan in the end. But we're going to have to wrap it up here, Craig. We're already past our time limit.
All right then. Yeah. Yeah, so anyways, happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you. You just watched number 10.
Yeah.
But as far as I'm concerned, this was just a practice because we never did do none of them, and we're gonna do 11 and then 12,
and then we'll be experts.
Should be getting better since then. And I think that's a wrap, and we can call that cut
later.